Hi there, Theresa here from theresamonro.com, and I am here to talk about the rest of the energy for December 2017. We're going to talk about an event, and then we're going to talk about the energy going into 2018, and not necessarily in that order. Sometimes, as you know, like I get these, notes, and they decide, okay, we're going to go in a separate order. So essentially, the day filming this is December 18th, and some of the collective right now is a bit more quiet than it has been before in quite some time. And so what we're coming up to, essentially, they're like, just get to the point. What we're coming up to on the 21st of December is an event called the particle emergence. So this essentially is quite a big deal, but what we also have going on here is Mercury's going direct. We have Saturn moving into Capricorn. It's also the solstice. So essentially we have a whole bunch of new cycles starting and new phases on all kinds of levels. And so we have new 30-day phases, we have 90-day phases, we have 2.5-year phase beginning, we have a 30-year phase beginning, and then we have another one that's for lifetimes in it. And they all affect the planetary energies as well as our own personal lives. So that's when I come in, is to start helping you realize where the rays of light that I work with are here to basically how it translates for the human collective and the patterns that are coming up right now. So interesting, because they want me to talk about 2018 right now. So going into January, it's interesting. Why don't you want me to have me talk about the foundations first? So the end of 2017, we felt a lot of pressure, and we had a major event that was called the Particle Convergence on August 21st. And it opened up this window essentially of potentials and energies that were watching us with the ability to move into higher timelines. And that date coming up for closing of that particular energy portal is the 21st of December. Now, some of you may have been feeling, and there's videos on this, by the way, if you want to go into the specifics of how that happened. There are specifics on this channel called the Particle Convergence and the Particle Emergence, and that's what the team of light that I work with are calling them, so that you can get into real specifics of that. But in short, like in summary for 2017, it was resetting foundations for what we're going into for 2018. Now, a lot of 2017 was about that, but there was a real push. And some people could feel the change coming between late August and going into December now. There was a lot of creativity happening between September and November, and a lot of new ideas. Now, this particular Mercury retrograde that we're in now is way different from the usual ones. It is interesting to watch, because something really big that's coming up that I may end up talking about soon if you guys are interested, is about how there's like false belief systems or basic, not synchronicities, what is the word for that? It's like stereotypes of what's happening within certain astrological patterns. So people will say, we'll post the same things every time Mercury goes retrograde, but this one's different, and it's because it's part of the particle convergence and emergence that's been happening in terms of, oh, you shouldn't date somebody new, or you shouldn't sign these contracts. And it's a far more flexible one that's getting us more in alignment. So, oh goodness, shouldn't break up during a, Mercury retrograde. But there's certainly been affected, technologically speaking, but otherwise it's been different. So, September through November was a big time. There were a lot of events like in August that brought us, kind of turbulent, that rocked the foundations for a lot of people, and on purpose, because anything that's not serving us for these higher timelines, because there were potentials for different levels of different timelines, were expected to leave. But we always have what is, essentially the universal law of free will choice. So there was less than 1% who decided not to leave relationships, or not to leave jobs, or not to leave certain things that were not serving them. And what's interesting is for some people who decided on a soul level, yes, we're going to go ahead and do that, they got kicked out of these situations. But others who just really dug their heels in, which is, what free will choice, it's an abuse of the universal law of free will choice, but if you go against your own soul's guidance, there's that less than 1% who are still in those relationships or in those jobs, and that window essentially closed for some of these new relationships. So there's somebody that I know personally that was supposed to leave a relationship and decided not to, decided to stay, and was also supposed to leave a job and did not, and as a result has some not cool karma coming their way in terms of when you don't pay attention to Saturn in your house. And for some of you, when you don't pay attention to it, or when you're aware of it and you directly go against it, it can cause like 30 years of an extension of those karmic lessons. So bravo to the 99% of you who were prompted to leave relationships, who were prompted to leave jobs, who were prompted to make a move to, there's somebody that you met that you knew you were supposed to be with, because the promptings for the foundational stuff coming into the past year, especially the last 3 months, were all there. But I will tell you this, if there's somebody in your life that you knew was supposed to be part of some sort of, soul contract and they didn't show up, you don't have to worry, because sometimes essences move bodies. Sometimes they shift, and that sort of thing. So interesting, the light that's coming in here, right? But yeah, 2018 is more of a year of stability. It's a year of more, 2017 was the foundations for 2018, and they were talking all year about patterns and things that were moving out of the human collective so that we could collectively move forward into these newer experiences of 2018 of stability and balance. And you'll watch, because there's, depending on where Saturn is in the certain houses, we'll be able to tell you, based on your sign, we'll be able to tell you where the growth period is going to be for you over the next, for some people 2.5 years, 30 years, and in some cases where you're going to find your foundation over the next year, or how. Like for Libras, you've got Saturn sitting in the second house, so there's an expansion around finances, and that's where you're going to be finding more stability in that particular area. So let me see. But it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how the stability and the balancing comes in for next year. For me, for sure, there's stuff around... because I can hear right now they're stating, that's, some people are going to view that a little bit differently, but something that they're, they're stating, I apologize. So Jupiter's sitting in the second house for Libras, meaning there's balancing around and growth around finances. What they're stating with Saturn for Libras is that it's sitting in, because that's my sun sign, it's sitting in the home. So there's going to be more stability around the home, finances and that sort of thing. So those are the areas, the two major areas where it's coming into. So sometimes they correct me right in the middle. Apologies for that if that's been confusing. I don't usually label it as, with the planets. I usually pick up on it through the rays of light. But in this particular, situation, they asked me to bring through some of the planetary situations, because that's what some people have been watching in the forecast. So, but again, people who didn't listen to like those business ideas, or didn't listen to leaving a relationship and starting a new one, that's less than 1%. And for those people, they really deserve some compassion, because they're feeling a little lost and a little, destructive and confused at the moment. But again, it's a small portion. The 99% of you that listen to the guidance, and you don't have to worry either if there's people that don't pay attention to these videos, or, just understand that the videos can go in depth for you, but some people don't need videos to be able to, receive that inner guidance. Our souls are always guiding us, and they just want to touch base on that and say, please don't judge people that aren't watching the videos about this sort of stuff, or judge humanity for feeling lost because they haven't had an awakening. Everybody is soul-led on every level. It's just, we have a decision to make on whether, or I guess most have decided at this point in terms of, the fear that we've chosen, or, the path of light. Because the truth is, there are people that don't necessarily act in the light and have selfish means, and they influence certain people of the light, and there's a real thing called the false light ascension. So it's something you can check out. I think it's better if you focus more on the light, though. So I'm trying to think what else is going on here. Oh, yes, the event. So the 21st is the day of the particle emergence. This is the day that I spoke of earlier that has Saturn going, changing signs. We have Mercury going direct. We have the solstice. There's a whole lot of things going on. And into January, in fact, they want to segue a little bit. We have everything direct for quite some time. Sometime into February, I want to say, forgive me for not having the dates, they want to go general with some of this. And just to let you know, it's a lot of forward movement. So once you're starting to feel a lot of that now, but I guarantee you January is going to have a lot more for those that said yes to the light, who said yes to these changes. Those are the ones that are going to see growth in all of these areas. It's going to be pretty fabulous stuff. Yeah, so the 21st has all those events, and so part of what they have mentioned is, and part of releasing 2017 is to host an event online for those interested in terms of, that's funny because they're talking about, look at the light, with some of the shadows, because we all have shadows, no matter how much light you're working with. However, if you're an air sign, it's easier to follow me. Some people are like, she segues all over the place, but that's just the way my mind works. It moves really quickly and I move in and out of it. So back to the event, the 21st. You can check out the link below for that. And we're getting together and having our declarations of intentions that we are mentioning. The beings of light will be, this is for 2018, and to really, set the ball rolling, because the beings of light that work with manifestation and shifting things and all of those healing rays and those beings of light are going to be present for the session. It's something I'm considering doing monthly online. If you guys are interested in having monthly powwows and for intentions for the month or for the week or for the day or that sort of thing. It's also something I do one-on-one to hold space and also guide you in how to shift the wording. So, but yeah. It's pretty cool to check this out. I'm just checking out my notes to make sure I got everything. But yes, that event is on the 21st, and I think it's going to be a really good time. It's going to be recorded, by the way, if you're interested. Right now, because of the time limit, Zoom wasn't really working, so we're looking at hosting it in a Facebook group for this month and possibly next month moving into something else. Something else for 2018 and beyond is I will be having the monthly energy attunements in 2018. Every single month online you will have each ray of light. So will represent one ray for each month, and it is really important to go in order for doing that. Otherwise, there's a rays of light of creation course. If you decide that you want to do it within 13 weeks, that is doable as well. Let me see, but I think that's pretty much it that we are wrapping up. I'm excited about getting together with the declarations of intention with everyone, and if there's anything that I've forgotten, I'm sure you guys will remind me down below in the comments or hit me up on my website, theresamonroe.com. If you want more detailed information for you, because I'm not always making videos right now, check out my blog on my website and check out my social media, because some of you haven't heard from me in a while and don't know on this channel and don't know exactly what's shifted. So those who were part of my social media or part of my mailing list knew that. So it was just appropriate at the time for the way some of that information came out. So I'm sending you lots of love. If you are interested, get in touch or sign up in the button below. All right, lots of love. Bye.